Hey everyone, it's Norm from Tested here at WonderFest 2025. I'm here with Andrew Reynolds. Andrew,
hi.
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You run Canadian Starships, your
Starships,
channel.
yeah.
Now I saw you posting in the WonderFest Facebook group leading up to the event that you were bringing an Enterprise D.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Yeah, just a little ship.
Yeah. Tell me about the build of this ship and where it is in its construction.
So I'm currently doing two of these.
Wow.
This is the 650, roughly 650 scale from Helios Models and Lighting. It is a commercially printed resin print kit.
Oh my goodness.
But it's a garage kit.
Yep.
There's all kinds of things that come along with a garage kit that you have to work through, fit issues and stuff like that you just have to deal with. These are for two clients. One of them is going to Belgium when it's done. One is going to Chilliwack, BC when it's done. And actually the client for the Chilliwack one is here at the show. Got a chance to see it, loves it. And so we are been building it. The biggest time sink that's gone into this was the armature. We don't really know how long this material is going to survive over time because we just don't have the data for it yet. So I went potentially overboard on the armature. It's got a metal plate which forms the sensor band that was provided, and then it's got a square steel tube that goes up through into the saucer. There's a aluminum disc, almost the size of the saucer inside, secured to the bottom saucer, and then all that's hanging off of the metal arm, the steel arm. And then for the pylons, everybody knows that you get issues with droopy pylons. So we've got a steel strip that's been embedded into the pylon. It was molded around this. This was taken off of the shape and bent around it, installed in, and so it's really at the surface of the pylons at the back, so just blended in so that those things don't go anywhere over time. So that took a long time to do the research, development, and application of the armature.
And none of that was part of the original garage kit.
That's right.
The kit is just the shape, it's just the scale.
That's it. They did provide a hollow printed resin arm to go in, but I didn't want to trust that.
Sure.
They are going to do another run, and I think they're going to include a metal armature in that. So they've taken some of the feedback. I've built this. Lou Dalmaso at Aztec Dummy, Phil at Screwverse, they've built it. They've all given them feedback. And so they're going to try to do it. It's like one guy trying to do it, right? So they're going to take that feedback and try to make it better.
And so the saucer is two parts. It came in?
It is. And if you look underneath, you might be able to tell there's a seam there. So the whole lip is one piece, which was nice.
Okay.
So it went onto the neck. The saucer top went on top of that.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of these kits are split down the sensor band.
Right.
I'm so glad they didn't do that.
Because you don't see the seam. You never see that seam. That's a tough seam around this oval to match. And
now, that was a lot easier to deal with, but the neck is the issue on this one that you really have to do a lot of work with.
Wow, 650, even at 6, and this is where in Star Trek, we were building mostly original series 350 scale. For Next Generation, the D is so much bigger. You have to go almost, 1/2 size in scale, and then the ship is still this big.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Did the kit have all these windows? I'm noticing that you have almost a hero side now.
Yeah. I have been burning the candle at both ends just to get it ready for WonderFest. There was no Aztec pattern on the top of this time last week.
Wow.
So the kit has the windows already open, so it's printed with the windows open. They're filled with solar res and masked off. I have a Cameo 4 vinyl cutter, so I just did my own masks for that. The bridge and the conference room have internal parts in it. And hard to see from here, but if you were to get up close, you would see the bridge in there, you'd see the conference room in there. The trick there was the glass on the conference room.
In the back,
to get something that was optically clear, but conformed to those compound curves was tricky. I ended up developing a bit of a new technique for that. I took solar res, sandwiched it between two microscope slides, hit it with the UV, and it created a very thin sheet of solar res glass. But it was still malleable enough. I was able to press it in and mold it, and it kept
it holds its place.
It holds its place. It kept the optical clearness of it, so you can see in.
You said no Aztec pattern. Walk me through your Aztec painting process then.
So The Aztec mask set I used was done by Wayne at Motion Picture Miniatures.
Okay.
Wayne, if you haven't seen what Wayne's been doing, he got molds of the 4-foot studio model, and he has recreated it for a museum in England. He is currently building a 1,000 scale for Terry Metalis, and so he is the expert on all of the patterns and details and stuff.
Yeah.
So we worked together to get his masks upsized to this. He was able to get a hold of a kit to work with. We tried going across the pond to do that, but it was much easier for him to get it on hand.
So it's a custom mask scaled
Custom
up.
mask scale. It's a 4-color mask
That's
set.
what I was wondering. Yeah. So what are the layers?
So you get the darker blue on the edge here is the base coat.
Okay.
Then you do the base Aztec pattern all over it and get the second color. Then it's like stencils. So you put the stencils down, you do the third color, you put the next stencils down, do the fourth color.
And there's overlapping in certain parts and layering and different. I can see that you get your specular from.
Yep. Yeah. And looking at reference photos of the Studio 6-foot model, he got the patterns pretty much exact.
Wow.
You'd be hard pressed to find discrepancies there. If there's any discrepancies, it's because the kit might be off a little bit and we had to adjust things a little bit. So.
Incredible. So obviously it's lit up.
It's lit up.
Tell me about this electronics then.
So I am using the lighting system, the Inner Light system from Scaletronics, which is the booth that we're in right now. So we thought, why not demonstrate the lighting kit that's in here at the booth? Grab some attention for the booth, be able to see what all it does. It is all addressable LEDs. And imagine a website building tool where you just choose from drop-down menus. Essentially, he's taken that idea and applied it to lighting model kits.
I see a tablet here with an L-car style layout. This controls the lighting?
And that's all provided with it. So if I hit the upper phaser, we get the upper phasers firing.
Oh, wow. Is that a pre-programmed animation, or did you code? He's done the...
He did that. He set it up to demonstrate the lighting. Just last night, he did about an hour just to get everything the way he wanted it, because he knows it really well.
Yeah.
Let's say the Borg have assimilated it, and they're firing their weapons.
There you go.
Right?
Green, yeah.
Yeah. I like this feature that he set up. Your nacelles always get damaged, so you got a damaged nacelle going on. The one over there.
Oh yeah, blinking, yeah. And that's right on the image of the ship?
That's right on there.
Oh my gosh.
We can fire the front torpedoes here.
Right, ooh, look at that.
And any light
Yeah.
can do anything you want. So the nice thing is these are going to clients.
Yeah.
If they want to, they can log into the software.
Right.
They can change it any way they want. If they want to have the windows doing the disco lighting like in Discovery, they can do that. Anything they want to do, they can do.
How many strips have you embedded in here?
There are over 500 LEDs in here.
Okay. Across how many different banks?
Strips, so it's all on one data chain.
Okay. They're all in series?
So just like you would do theatrical lighting with DMX and all the LED lighting, it's the same thing. It's all controlled through a data chain. There's about 157 LEDs in the strip doing the phaser array.
Okay.
Slightly less on the bottom one, and then other strips of lighting all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. What's your strategy for diffusion and when working with these LEDs? So
the tough parts for the diffusion were really the impulse engine on the back.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with how that turned out, and the warp nacelles. In person, I don't know how it'll turn out on camera, but in person, there are no hot spots. So those were done with a frosted coat on the inside. On the Buzzards, they are frost sprayed, but then I took white resin, and like the way a chocolate rabbit, a hollow chocolate rabbit would be made, where they pour it in and then pour it out.
Yep.
Basically the same thing with those Buzzards. So poured in the white resin, swished it around, let it set up a little bit, poured it out.
Yeah.
It was just enough to diffuse that. The impulse engine, and I will just turn this around so you can see it here. Mind the light leak, so this will be taken care of when I get home. But, and this needs to be installed a little bit more, but you can barely see the hot spots in there.
Yeah.
So again, the same trick with the Solaris glass I did with the white resin, just created a very thin sheet in there. There's a layer of a reflective, sparkly material that came out of my daughter's broken circus toy. Well, you know when you get those lighted devices at events?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and so it creates a really sparkle type of feature. I imagine that it's something that they might have done had they been able to on the show. So those were the tricky parts for the diffusion. Things like the arboretum up there, the strip is actually up here. It's just indirectly lit.
You get a little bit of distance.
Those. The LEDs are on the bottom of the nacelle here, so it helps with eliminating those hot spots.
Yeah. You're working with angles, you're working with whatever volume and space you have.
Yeah, whatever we can do to give that illusion that it works.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow, Andrew, this is so impressive. What's next?
Thank you.
What's left to do to finish this model?
So there's some parts to go on. The impulse deck's not on the saucer. There's some paint details that need to be taken care of. Then it'll need to be gloss coated. The decals will go on. They're from Cosmic Scale Models. They're here at the show as well. They are a 5-color UV print. They are white. White is included in that, so they're all white backed. All the white details are there.
Nice.
They look really good. Those will go on. It'll get the all the top coats, any final details, and then it goes, and I finish the next one.
Why one when you can do two?
I started working on them side by side, getting the windows filled, getting the masts and stuff like that. But once it gets constructed, I have half of a 2-car garage to work in. So it gets a little cumbersome. Once it's together, I only have space to build one at a time.
Well, nothing like a deadline or an event to force you into that work. Well, and thank you. I appreciate you sharing with us this amazing enterprise.
Well, thank you.
Andrew, thank you so much. So Andrew was telling about the lighting system from this Enterprise D actually comes from Andy here. Andy, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yep, nice to meet you.
You run Scaletronics.
That's right, yes.
And you have a bunch of different lighting systems or a bunch of different feature sets.
Exactly, yeah.
Can you walk me through what you've developed?
Sure. And so the system's called Inner Light.
Very clever.
Thank you. And the goal really was to create a universal system that would work with any scale model, could have advanced effects, but didn't require you to be a computer programmer. That's the key. It has to be easy to use.
Right.
Okay. So the system consists of a controller, and I do 2 types. The most basic type is the light controller here. And so that will do up to 30 LEDs, flashing and fading effects. So that's controlling this model. There's another one controlling the NX01 there. And the configuration of that is done through an app. So the controller has power, which can be from a wall adapter or a battery pack. And then it emits its own Wi-Fi signal, which you connect to with your device. Download an app, and you use that to configure it. Now, for configuration, with the light controller, there's 10 scenes to play with. And for each scene, you can name it, and then you get your 30 LEDs, and you say things like, well, LEDs 4, 5, and 7, so the 4th, 5th, and 7th in the LED data chain. I want you perhaps to flash red with those timings. Press save, and I've just configured the controller to do that job. And you go through your sort of 10 scenes, deciding on the colors and the effects. Yeah? So that's the sort of light controller.
That's really pretty powerful in itself.
It certainly is. For a lot of basic models that are not too large and don't have over 30 LEDs, it's perfectly capable. Yeah. And then we move on from there to the Pro controller. This is another level, really. This will do control up to 2,000 LEDs.
Wow.
It has a sound output built in. It has HDMI output built in as well for video effects and more advanced capabilities. The configuration of that is done through a web interface. So again, it broadcasts its own Wi-Fi signal. You connect to it, and then you decide what all your effects and what all your LED groupings are, and get it to do exactly what you want to do.
And I'm noticing in the chain, you have all different types of LEDs.
Exactly, because they all follow the same protocol. It's the WS2812 or SK6812 LED protocol, which is standard.
Standard RGB strip, individual. You have.
So this board is my design. So that sits on the LED data chain. It pretends to be LEDs, if you like. There's 2 on board which you can use, but there's also the RGB split out on another 2 to give you standard 5-volt outputs, which means you can use things like standard LEDs and control the brightness, LED filaments.
Love LED filaments.
Or motors in perhaps an aircraft, so we can get that going. and that'll kick in and do that.
So it'll drive, not just lights.
Yeah. And obviously, what I'm showing you here is app control of the solution, which is the other side of the product, really. Once you've configured the solution and you've named all your scenes, you can then use an app running on any iOS or Android device to control your model or your collection of models with any configurable interface. There's several examples. The software allows you to download any images from the internet and use them as part of the
Do you share the
app.
templates based on popular models and model kits?
Sure, yeah. So people often email in images that they want to use, and I'll create an interface for them, or some people download the software and do it themselves.
Yeah, is there a community sharing that as well?
Yeah, to some extent on Facebook, yeah.
Nice, wow. What was the challenge in building these, and what is there a step toward miniaturization, like and functionality? What's your next step for this?
Yeah, so I'm obviously always it's essentially a software product. So I'm obviously always adding features software-wise. Hardware-wise, I'm still looking at the next upgrade to the Pro unit. The light unit's based on an ESP32. I may upgrade that to another unit in the future. But mainly, it's built around the software side of things. So one sort of new feature I've added, for example, is an LED effect type, which is an image. So, for example, you can download or create any bitmap image. So an image of some fire or an image just of a geometric pattern.
Right.
And it scans it top to bottom and then applies it to the LEDs that you decide. Right. So, for example, this
matrix that you can have a lower resolution version of.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, for example, that image, if I apply that to there.
There you go.
So it just sort of gives you an idea of how sort of flexible and powerful it can be using features like this, which essentially are software driven.
That's so cool. Awesome. What are some of the more impressive models that you've seen people put the system in?
I have to say that the D that you've just seen is one of the more impressive ones. But there's also Cosmic Scale Models did an Oblivion drone recently that was very impressive. And again, the app interface was available for that.
Makes it so much more fun, interactive, and enjoyable.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
as a model.
Exactly.
Andy, thank you so much for sharing.
No, pleasure.
It's wonderful to meet you.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you guys so much for watching that video. I would be remiss if I didn't tell you we have some excellent merch. We have a 5-pack of demerit badges for sale right now at tested/store.com. We've got the I hung it off of level demerit badge, the I built the chair backwards demerit badge, the I hit my thumb with a hammer demerit badge. We've got the stapler in my finger demerit badge, and my favorite, I stuck the duct tape to itself demerit badge. Get yours now, tested/store.store. Tested-store. Tested. It's right here. There. Just click there.